Boom! Here we are back again. That's right. Another Sunday, another episode of Comic Book Canon in my dirty basement that will someday be refurbished once all the construction is done. I promise you that. Joe, don't give me that look, that unforgiving look, that I'm not good enough look, right?
It's not that you're not good enough. It's more that you'll never be where you need to be. Which is a nicer way of saying.
Well, here's the deal. Words hurt, but I am where I need to be tonight on Comic Book Canon, the most popular show on YouTube, with you wonderful people on a Sunday night. You guys are going to be able to win a prize. Somebody's going to be walking away with this thing tonight. Somebody in the lot. Look at Kaboom Comics. What? That's just, I love this sketch right here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So remember that. We're going to give you the lowdown right now, but we're not going to start until after the news where we get more people in. But again, just pay attention during the show because there are going to be 3 artists that are favorites of Kaboom. That's right, 3. So, for example, when we say pay attention, you pay attention to the on the screen and the artist's name. So you're going to need to know all 3 of them, right? All 3. And by the way, this artist, Joe.
Pay attention.
This was done by me. I drew you, Joe.
You drew me.
How cool is that? And look, guess what? You're holding a comic book, if you can't tell.
I'm actually holding a picture of the worth of Jeff. That I really tried to insult you there, and it just came out so.
No, because that could be a bag of money, and that could be billions of dollars in that bag, for all we know. But anyways, so yeah, you got to pay attention to the 3 artists we're going to name after the news. It's just going to come up at random. 3 artists chosen by Kaboom Comics. At the end of the show, we're going to say, what are those 3 artists? And you're going to have to go, blah, 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 put it in there, although some of you do the copy and paste, which is not cool. And you're going to win. Goonish Lurker won last week. That amazing Spider-Man 129 poster signed by Jerry Conway. So, yeah, again, totally just an amazing kind of thing we're doing on the road to 200. That's right. This is episode 198. We're close to 200. We're going to be giving away a lot of stuff for 200. We have to decide what we're doing for 199 as well. But yeah, why don't we just get into it? Again, since this is episode 198, we're going to do our featured issue of 198 as well. And this is a good one, Joe. I don't know if you checked. We went over this. Josh picked this one out. I like this one a lot. It is World's Finest 198. It's from 1970. It features the first part of a 2-issue story titled The Superman-Batman Split. In this issue, Superman and Flash compete in a high-speed race around the universe while Batman investigates the mysterious manipulations of an alien race called the Arachnids, who are using the race for sinister purposes. The story builds towards a climactic showdown between the heroes and the alien threat, while tensions rise between Superman and Batman as they work separately to resolve the crisis. They are not the best of friends. Am I right, Joe?
You're correct there, sir.
They never have been. Martha. Did you say Martha? Anyways, so yeah. So now that you're here, you may as well be here for the whole show and possibly win again this wonderful, wonderful sketch issue by Kaboom Comics. I just love showing it. By the way, this is an EGS slab. How dare I not mention that? It feels so good in the hands. All right. So we're going to start this as we do every week. These wonderful episodes of the Comic Book Canon Show with our good friend, partner in crime, and editor of the news for the Canon, Josh's Comics. There we go. Look at this format right here. The 3 of us just living life, right? Living large. Am I right? What's up? Yeah.
I'm just pointing at you guys because you guys are great.
You're great. No, you're great. All right. So Josh, we got some good news. It's like a nice little mix. It's the big 2, right? We don't have anything outside the big 2, but it's a nice little mix of news. I'm quite excited about a lot of these things. So why don't we just dive right into it, Joshua? Let's go.
So we're going to start off with some of my favorite news to always talk about. That's Batman news from the DCU. The Batman Part 2 script is now finished, and production is set to begin in 2025, with filming planning for early to mid-year, according to Matt Reeves. I am stoked for this. I'm glad that the script is finally done. People at first were talking about, maybe the Batman Matt Reeves universe might get scrapped. Nope, we're in full swing, people. Tighten your seatbelts, fasten your trays. It's going to be a ride. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's a little far out, but man, as Joe said, I mean, Joe, you have love for this film. I know, Josh, you truly love it because you're like, this is your favorite character. But Joe, given that you're the biggest Nightcrawler fan I ever met, this Batman film you feel like is the best Batman film ever made.
I do, and I've said that a lot. You know, I love the Keaton movies. I even have like a soft spot for Batman Forever because it came out when I was a kid and was really into Batman. And you know, I've got to love the Christian Bale Dark Knight movies as well. They did a lot of things to advance the character. But yeah, I could just watch the Robert Pattinson Batman movie over and over again. In fact, I think I might be at around 10 watches now of that movie, which came out a little less than 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're talking about almost every other month for the last 2 years.
That's a 3-hour movie too.
Yeah,
it is.
So it is 3 hours times 10. That's a lot of time in your life.
I usually put movies on when I'm sorting collections, bagging and boarding, grading stuff, pricing stuff. So it just kind of, it vibes in the background. It's not like I'm sitting there like staring at the TV for 3 hours. But yes, enough about the first movie. I am so stoked for the second one, and I got even more stoked this week because we had a premiere for the Penguin.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
I'm not saying anything else other than it premiered. So that just only it only invigorated my want for the second movie, and it seems like we're gonna be fleshing out that universe a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it was a slow burn for me, that movie. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. But The Dark Knight by far for me is the best Batman film ever. Okay, and there are a lot to choose from. But The Batman by Matt Reeves was really good. And speaking with Alicia, I don't know if she saw it. I couldn't get it out of her, but she was really interested in seeing the Penguin. So I was like, we got to go back and watch the Batman first, and she doesn't want to do it. But anyways, that's a whole side note that I have to deal with. You guys, I don't want to bring my drama to you guys, but I'm excited to see what Matt Reeves does to build in this universe because it's really good. You know what I mean? It's really, there is a texture and tone of this film and this world that is being fleshed out, and I'm excited that they're going to be doing more. And Josh, based off of your rumor report from last week, sounds like they're going to also have another series that's going to be spun out from this universe as well.
Yeah, kind of like what I touched on last week. I think what's going to happen is we're going to obviously get Batman 2. Matt has already said it's a trilogy. It's going to be 3 films. So I'd imagine the next series will probably be between Batman 2 and Batman 3. But yeah, I'm up for whatever Matt Reeves wants to do. I was one of those people that was skeptical about it when Robert Pattinson was originally announced. Ben Affleck got the cut, and then Matt was going to do his own style film. But I tell you what, man, it's like Michael Keaton's Batman. Nobody thought he was going to do a great job. They didn't think the movie was going to be good. Well, nah, they killed it. So whatever Matt wants to do, I'm fully on board and I'm ready. It just sucks that we have to wait about 2 years, I think, until releases. But yeah, I think we'll be okay until then.
It's a long time, but again, we got plenty to fill us in to satiate our palates. Now, before we move on to this next DCU story, we'd like to remind you all to like and subscribe, and we will be giving away that amazing Kaboom Comics book that you may have seen promoted around the socials. Again, we'll get into how you can do that. All of you will be eligible to win. You just have to take action to do so. All right, Joshua, what is our next wonderful piece of news?
So we got some more DCU news, and there's going to be a couple films that are going into production early in the beginning of the year. So let's start off with the first film, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I cannot wait. We already got casting for Supergirl. I'm hearing rumors that Lobo might be in the movie. I don't know who they would cast for that. Honestly, I think Danny DeVito would be probably a good choice. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm actually excited for this, and finally get Supergirl in her own featured movie. Um, I really love the character, and hopefully we get to see that real family bond in between Supergirl and Superman, and she's a big part of the DCU.
Yeah, for sure. There's only there was the TV series, the CW TV series. I think by that point I tired by all CW kind of shows. I did like Arrow at the very beginning, but I really never got into Supergirl. I do want to read this run, Woman of Tomorrow, to see what it's all about. Was it Tom King is the writer? I do like his writing. So I'm excited, and that's what this film is going to be based off of. It's going to be more of a kind of a badass Supergirl. So heck yeah, I'm all in. I'm very excited about it. But again, it just feels so far away. Joseph.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever read a Supergirl comic. I'm not a DC guy. Really just Batman stuff. They don't cross over. I've probably read an issue that she's been in, but certainly not a Supergirl focused book. But that being said, I'm very interested in the character. I really liked the appearance in the Flash movie, and I know that was like a different take on the character than her standard appearance, although it was comic book accurate to part of the the comic book runs. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Tom King is a fantastic writer, and I've heard great things about the run. So if they're going with comic book accuracy and choosing that run, absolutely, why not?
Yeah, for sure. Again, it's very far away. I think we all tend to forget though that we are going to be introduced to the DCU, or Peter Safran and James Gunn's DCU. I have to burp. Excuse me. Sorry. We are going to be introduced with Creature Commandos in December. We're all forgetting that. So there will be some content coming our way, and we have Superman in July next year. Not sure if there's anything in between those two projects, but
I thought, well, no, probably not, because I was going to say, Peacemaker's filming. And
right.
That's going to be
good.
later. That's
Yeah,
later in the year, I believe.
Probably later in the year, but that I can't wait for that because that show is outstanding. All right, Joshua, we're going to move to the MCU now. Let's talk MCU.
Whoa, we're skipping one here, Jeff. Hold on.
Oh, we did skip one. My favorite. So, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, listen, Jeff, we need to get, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Joe. I was going to say, boot them off. All right. So the other piece of news, and when I started this, we have two films that are going to be the beginning of this year. Well, actually, a film and a show. Lanterns will also begin filming early 2025. We've kind of gotten a few casting announcements of who they are looking at. For Hale Jordan, Josh Brolin has passed. I think Ian McGregor, I believe, is up next. He's the runner right now at it. We'll see if he ends up taking it. And then I'm also thinking that in October, I don't know if it's at New York, but I think Gunn's going to be at one of the big Comic-Cons. He just posted a picture of Jon Stewart. Rumors circulating that they may have already cast Jon Stewart recently in the last few weeks, and they're going to wait and they're going to announce it soon. So we'll have to see. But knowing that filming is also going to begin in early 2025, they're going to have to be announced within the next few months, obviously, who's going to be in the cast. So, yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah. Again, as being not much of a DC guy, Green Lantern is kind of the character that all my friends who are DC guys really, really love. Between like James from Midhunter Comic, Alex Collecting Dude, my buddy Tony, Retcon Comics, and this individual over here, all massive fans of Green Lantern. A lot of them, Green Lantern are their favorite characters. So there's got to be something good about this character. So I definitely want to get more and more into the DC side of things. I think one of the things that's really kept me out of it is, like, I've always been a Batman guy. But other than the Batman shows, I didn't watch many shows as a kid for DC characters. I watched X-Men and got into X-Men, watched Spider-Man, got into Spider-Man, even watched a lot of the Fantastic Four and the old Iron Man shows that were like on VHS and stuff when I was a kid. So I definitely want to branch out more, and DC has the perfect opportunity to, allow comic fans to branch out as well as get some, new fans that have gotten into comics through the MCU, bring them into the DC side of things. I think it's a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited because they have a bevy of just characters from the Green Lantern Corps to choose from. Obviously, I do believe they're going to be focusing on Hal Jordan, John Stewart. I'm not so sure about Guy Gardner, although he will be in the Superman film. So who knows? I don't know. I'm just very excited about what the tone is that they're portraying here. And the announcement of having it's called Lanterns, of the Lantern Show. I think this is very, very intentional, the way the imagery that they use. This is the actual imagery they use on the press release or the announcement. And it's very kind of dark and kind of, it's very understated in a way, not your kind of typical flashy look. So, having it be described as a, true detective in space,
right.
the True Detective, the HBO Max series or the Max series, that's very exciting. It's very exciting. And I absolutely can't wait if they get a kind of veteran type actor, one who's kind of, long in the tooth to play the Hal Jordan, to kind of bringing John Stewart into the fold. It's going to be so awesome. It's gonna be amazing.
Why not?
The thing is, too, it's not only technically true detective in space, but they're going to be solving a murder mystery on Earth. That's going to be the whole premise of the show. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get some of the, cosmetic part of the lanterns, but yeah, and then like you said too, it's going to be an older Hal Jordan who's been a veteran, who's teaching a young John Stewart, which I like because I grew up with John Stewart in Justice League, the animated series. So I think a lot of people probably right now between the probably 20s and 30s, I would say, know John more than they know Hal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But, yeah.
Very good point. Very exciting again. A lot of fun DCU coming up. I have faith. A lot of people on this show don't have faith in James Gunn and Peter Safran, but let's give it a chance, people. Let's give it a chance. I'm not naming names. What one person's name does begin with a D and ends with an Ann De La Torre. So I'm not calling anybody out, but if you do the math, you'll figure it out.
I heard that's the reason why he's in here tonight, because he's protesting at James Gunn's house.
That's actually not true. He is taking his daughter to pick up 2,700 pops. Literally.
Good pops, yeah.
2,700 pops. Anyways, moving on. Now we can talk about a little MCU, shall we?
Yes. So I'm actually happy about this. I watched both episodes Friday night. Agatha All Along release. And I'm going to be honest. No, and by the way, just to mention this, no spoilers. We're not going to spoil the episodes. I just say the first half of episode 1 kind of dragged for me, and then there was a switch point, and then from there on up to season 2, to episode 2, I think the show is amazing. I'm having a great time with it, and I'm looking forward to see the rest of the episodes and where it goes. And may not be for everybody, but it's definitely a show that was made for me, I feel like, especially if you like Wanda or WandaVision.
Yeah. You want me to go first, Jeff? You were about to say something, but I kind of stole the show, so I'm just going to take it away from here.
Yeah, go for it. Take what's yours. Go for it.
I firmly believe that as far as the MCU Disney Plus shows, WandaVision is hands down the best one.
For sure.
It was the first one, and honestly, it's been really hard to live up to that. So getting a spin-off from that show definitely has me excited. I think Wanda, second to Tony Stark, Wanda is the best character of the MCU. And while the show is not, featured around her, it's definitely going to have elements of what has happened with her and so on and so forth. I watched both episodes twice, actually, and I'm happy. I'm not jumping for joy. It's not like, oh, this is the best thing ever, but it's really good. I'm captivated with the first 2 episodes. New characters introduced. I've got some questions. I've got some theories. I was definitely entertained the whole time. And this isn't really a spoiler, but you get to see Catherine Hahn's butt.
Yeah.
And that's
true,
not
actually.
a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Hey, for her age, she and she
Good.
came, by the way, I want to clarify this. She came up with that scene. She asked him if they could do it.
Really?
And I'm not ashamed to say that I may have paused on that scene a few times. I'm just putting it out there, folks. It is a great scene, and maybe if Wanda wants to join in a special feature or something.
All right, chill, Josh, chill, relax.
Wow, yeah, we're getting into territory. You were married at one point, or no, you were anyways, you were seeing Chet's wife, but that's a whole other story we'll get into later. Here's the deal. It came out Wednesday, right? So I started watching it late at night, and I was so tired. I was 15 minutes in, and I finished the episode. I've only seen episode 1. I'm an MCU fanboy. Like, there's no hiding it. I love all comics. I want to see, all iterations of these characters succeed. I don't know. It didn't grab me like a lot of the other shows have. I like what they were doing with it in terms of, in a way, continuing how WandaVision was and her trapped in that kind of where Scarlet Witch put her. But I had to see the second episode still, and unfairly, I think I was comparing it to something else that came out the day after, and which I'll get into in a bit. But I'm going to see it through. I see like 99% of these comic book TV shows, films, and etc. I'm definitely seeing it through, and it's not for me to say for those who are definitely interested not to see it. I just can't give a kind of a complete review, basically because I haven't seen the second episode up to this point. It was enough to be like, I'm definitely going to be watching more. I already would do that. So that's all I guess I can say about that. However, we did have another premiere this week as well. On the DC side of things. So
the Penguin episode 1 dropped the next day, and it is off to a fantastic start with episode 1. And I'll tell you what, I think Colin needs a nomination. He deserves a Oscar or Golden Globe because he's killing it. You can't even tell it's Colin Faith. And on top of that, I'm just so I should have watched the Batman and then watched the Penguin. I think it's better, people say, but it was still a fantastic start. And like, I'm loving this, we're deep in the underbelly of Gotham now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we get to see we're in the gutters, dark, dirty, and that was just phenomenal television. Like, it's probably one of the best pilots in a long time for television and shows in the last couple of years, for sure. Like, that thing knocked it out. And you even get to see a thick boy Penguin tied up in a chair, James Bond style. And let me tell you something, represent the big hairy guys. Yeah.
Did you also pause during that scene?
I plead the fifth on that question.
That's probably for all of us.
I was talking about Wanda a second ago, or no, Agatha a second ago, and where that show I thought was very good, and I'm excited. I thought that the Penguin was phenomenal, and I am beyond excited. So having those two shows come out back to back, like Agatha's definitely getting a little bit overshadowed here. Like, I'm definitely excited for it, but man, picking up right where, timeline wise, right where the Batman left off, and like, it feels like it's just a continuation. Like, it feels like it's the next episode if you just watch right from one to the other. That being said, the one complaint that I've heard from a lot of people, and this isn't really about the show in general, it's about the concept of the show, is we've had so much Batman stuff without Batman. We had Gotham, the show Gotham, and and spin-offs like that. But I think that the fact that this specific character is from a movie, and this movie is going to link to Batman movies, I think that's a way to make it work, having Batman content without Batman. And just like Josh said, Colin Farrell, he's spent like the last 20 years just completely upstaging himself every time he takes on a new role. Like, that guy has just gotten better and better and better and better and better over time. And this is his, in my opinion, most impressive role. Not just like the physical changes and obviously the voice and taking on this character that's been around for, approaching 80 years at this point, actually over 80 years at this point. But doing so in a way that makes a character that kind of should be fairly boring, like a physically restricted gangster, organized criminal. Nothing really special about him other than his drive and his willingness to do anything to gain power. Takes it and just makes this character just so freaking compelling. So yeah, I'm certainly very, very excited about this.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm going to echo everything you guys both said. It's unfortunate that Agatha All Along had a, premiere right before it, because it does get overshadowed. Because, again, I lean towards the Marvel side of things. Totally. I've always resonated with those characters more than DC. However, I've definitely collected my fair share of DC as well. And going back on what you – first of all, it was phenomenal. And Colin Farrell, he absolutely will win an award. It's not him. You know what I mean? He is the Penguin. He's created this character, the Penguin, right? And I know through direction and makeup and all of that, but what he brings to that character, oh my God. That being said, like, going back to how people are criticizing it for being too much Batman stuff, Gotham, it was about Bruce Wayne and, it was about Gotham and Commissioner Gordon and a little Bruce Wayne. And any other of those type of shows, they never had Batman set foot into the universe really until the end, maybe.
Well, he didn't even show up until the last episode. Yeah.
We've already seen the Batman in this world. They touch upon what the events that happened, and I think it takes place maybe a week or two after. And he's in the background, just like some of those other shows, but he's coming back.
Hold on, I can touch base because you guys obviously didn't read the newspaper I sent you. Joe did, but you didn't, did you, Jeff?
Nah, I don't want to. I was too busy.
Actually, Colin even did an interview. He confirmed, unless it's a lie, we'll see. But he said no. Patterson's not showing up. Batman is not going to show up.
We don't need it.
We don't need it. If you read the newspaper article that I sent you that is supposed to be in there, it says that Batman hasn't been seen for almost a month now.
Oh, okay.
So technically, it's like the show's about a month after. I mean,
very recent still, though.
Yeah. So it looks like Batman's, missing in action. We got some hints at some other characters in there. I think we're gonna wait maybe until next show to talk about that because, like I said, I know not a lot of people have watched it, but
spoilers,
and you know what? Even if it's a lie and Patterson shows up at the end of the last episode, great. And even if he doesn't, great. I'm going to see him in a couple years anyway. And you know what? All these other characters are going to introduce and they're going to probably move forward as well in the future films. I'm just excited. I love Batman content. Colin's killing it as Penguin. Like, you wouldn't even recognize. Like, I had no idea he was the Penguin until I saw his name in the credits. And then I'm like, wait a minute. When was he in this film at all? And it's like, dude, and then you realize, no, you could tell from the eyes, like if you look maybe, but like,
I can't. I've tried. I'm like, where is he in this? Like, where is he?
The first time I saw the trailer, I thought it was Richard Kind. Do you know who Richard Kind is, Jeff?
No.
Bring up a picture of Richard Kind while Josh is doing the next story.
I mean,
they did say that Colin Farrell was cast, and they did release a picture of him before the film came out.
But some people didn't believe it.
Some people didn't believe it. I mean,
have you guys seen Tropic Thunder?
Mm-hmm.
So look, when they said
I had no idea that was Tom Cruise, so I know the feeling.
I watched that film 2 times, and I'm like, "Where's Tom Cruise in this film?" And you can obviously tell it's more Tom than you could tell it's Colin as Penguin, but.
Oh my God! No way! No way,
that's
Joe.
Richard Kind. I literally thought that's who was.
Bring it up again.
Trailer.
Bring it up again. Oh, that's so funny, dude.
Yo, give him the scar. Yeah, like everything.
That is hilarious.
That's so
wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, obviously, through our enthusiasm of the show, The Penguin, we've been talking about it way longer than any other news story. If you haven't seen it, It is well
Go
worth
watch
it.
it.
I highly recommend it. You don't even need to see the Batman film if you haven't seen it already. Like this show is so everything around it. The acting is superb. The sets, the tone, everything. Love. And again, this is coming from a person who leans more towards Marvel than DC. So yeah. So that's what we'll say about that. We have to move on to our final news story, but not the end of the news segment. So Joshua, please.
So this is actually kind of just came out a few days ago, and I'm not surprised by it. But Disney and Sony are currently working on a new deal to bring more Spider-Man into future films, possibly a new trilogy for Spider-Man, and to do future movies beyond Secret Wars. I think it was after Spider-Man Far From Home with that cliffhanger ending of Mysterio revealing Peter Parker is Spider-Man to the world. It looked like the contract was up, and Sony and Marvel kind of were having issues, and Disney stepped in and helped out. They worked out a new deal, which was pretty much to get a third film and to have him in the 2 other Avenger films. But obviously, Tom is doing a great job as Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, and they want to continue to have him in future films. I would imagine they're going to set him up and probably bring in Miles at some point in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe, and have him do like an older Peter Parker, and then maybe they'll work out a deal and be like, hey, Peter goes back to Sony, and then Miles is in the MCU, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Tom Holland in the role. I think that. Ooh, look at that! Stop with the product placement, Jeff. I know they're paying you, but come on, chill.
Narragansett is paying us.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go. Reese's peanut butter cups.
I would like for Reese's to pay, especially Halloween time.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I've got a little container full of crazy bones.
Okay, continue, Joseph.
Anyway,
you're on to something.
I've liked Tom Holland in the role. I don't think he's the best that we could possibly get, and I don't think he's the best that we've had. But I've enjoyed the movies. The 3 movies have been great. The appearances, especially like the first time appearance in Civil War, that was just phenomenal. I'm all for more movies. I'm all for developing the character more. His mentor is gone now. He's been through a whole lot of stuff, including meeting multiverse versions of himself.
And his aunt passing away.
His aunt passing away. We need that. We need that post.
Lost his best friend, his girlfriend as well.
Right. Yeah. So I'm really hopeful that we truly get what's been rumored. The 3 movies. 3 more Spider-Man movies, and I'm hoping we get to see a flesh out of the character that includes, that big post major tragedy, storyline and stuff like that. And there's so much Spider-Man content that they can pull from. And I definitely want to see more of that. So I think that leads us into not only.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say it leads us into the end of the news segment, the regular news segment, but into the rumors.
But I have things to say.
What?
I would like to talk about my favorite character, if you'll let me.
Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much more to pull from with Spider-Man. So much more they could do in the MCU. I've enjoyed it thoroughly as well. I agree, Joe. Not the best Spider-Man of all time. I thought Andrew Garfield was the best Peter.
100%.
For sure. Like best Peter. But I love these movies about, again, my favorite character. And it's a fact. When Sony and Disney makes deals for Spider-Man between the 2 of them, everybody does well. Yeah. They do well financially. They do well critically. They do well with the fans, and the fans do well watching it. So why ruin a good thing? Why have, okay, you know what? I think let's have you guys do Miles now, and we'll take over the Spider-Man. Like,
right.
I'm expecting crap from Venom 3. I'll be honest. I'm psyched that they mentioned Null, but I can't say for sure that they're going to do him right, or that he'll move on into the multiverse as well and be part of Secret Wars. Who knows? But like, it's a fact. When they work together, they work well, and everybody does well. So just please don't change that.
Not really them working together. It's more like Marvel does 90% of the work, and Sony honestly just
they are working together. Again, because Sony doesn't have to do this. Sony
Right.
can do what they want, right?
But it's the money, Jeff. They see
That's
the
why
money
it
and how much
works
they make
well.
from it.
That's why it works well, and they know it works well, and they're coming up with these agreements for them. Again,
That's why I'm on this show, because of the money, my contract.
Yeah, we gotta renegotiate for.
I mean, I'm still waiting on payment here, but I have hopes that you
Joe,
guys
this
will
is
pay
one of the
me.
biggest mistakes probably in canon history was bringing Joshua on, and
Yeah.
we've been
Wow.
we've had a gag order. We've been not been allowed to say that, and I know there are going to be some sort of damages coming my way and possibly the show's way for saying that. But I said it out of emotion, and now I regret it. With that being said, that ends the regular news segment, right? And before we get into Josh's rumor report, we want to remind you you're going to be able to win an amazing slab today. And we're going to tell you how after the news, right? From Kaboom Comics, EGS slab. Look at this. I mean, that's original artwork there, people. Okay. So again, stick around. We're going to tell you how you can win it after the news segment. But right now, we got to move right into, and let's just do it again, guys. Let's just do it again. We're going to have a little theme song.
He's a comic lover we love and trust, and he spills the tea for us. It's Josh's rumor report.
I just realized he said he spills the tea for us. Caleb Leland, thank you, everyone. Caleb Leland, well done. That's right. It is time for Josh's rumor report. This is not based on fact. These are rumors. Josh, again, is the Adam Schefter of Comic Book Canon. If you know Adam Schefter, he is the insider NFL. The guy for ESPN, and Josh was our guy for the news and rumors. So, Josh, please, again, with the warning label, explain the rumor report, please.
Look, strictly rumors. Don't believe me. Don't go out tonight after this and like, hey, I got to spend $700,000 on a comic book because this guy's throwing in some rumors and I wouldn't join the spec game. Don't do that, okay? Listen, these are strictly rumors, and, you know, I hope, hey, if they turn out to be true, great. If not, great too. It's just fun to speculate, I guess you could say, and have fun with it. And you know what? Some things I really hope happen. So we'll see.
Can we just use the phrase for you specifically, Josh? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Well, I think it was more like don't hate the player, hate the tailor. I think that's what Will Smith said in Bad Boys 2.
All right,
that's okay. Or the other one is, you know, they hate us because they ain't us.
Oh, God. I really wish I didn't open that can of worms. This is the first rumor report that we have from Joshua. Please.
So, the Teen Titans is rumored to be in development in the DCU. There's haven't been a 100% confirmation yet, but it's rumored to be a prequel, and it might be set before Brave and the Bold. So, with that being said, I'm thinking, all right, Dick Grayson is probably already Nightwing. I'm hoping we get to see. Honestly, I would like to see some of the original cast. You know, have Raven, Nightwing, Beast. Maybe not have Cyborg yet. See how that works out. But I'd like to see a Wonder Girl. Maybe Kid Flash. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see how like set the universe is already in, because we already know it's not the beginning that we're jumping into. We're already jumping into a universe full of heroes, and it's going to be at different time periods. So it'll be interesting to see if this film turns out to be true and what actually happens with it.
Yo, that sounds interesting. Again, Creature Commandos will probably give us a little kind of hint as to where we are in this universe, because you know, like with the MCU, I guess technically it didn't start off with Iron Man because there was Captain America, but you know, that being said, I think it's really cool that there are already established heroes. It'd be fun for the Teen Titans to be a part of that. I would love to see Nightwing on the big screen. So this is an interesting rumor for sure, but I cannot wait for Creature Commandos to come out to see what this universe is going to start off being. Joseph, please elaborate.
Yeah, so I love the Teen Titans. So I'm hoping they not only do them but do them justice. The show was okay for what it was, for you know the budget that they had and stuff like that. The first season drags. Every time I talk about this, I say if you get through the first season, then you've got 2 good seasons. But you really have to watch the first season to get a lot of backstory and stuff like that. So yeah, they if they can do it better than the show, I'll be really happy. I think with higher caliber actors, that's going to be one thing, that the budget will really improve on, because that was one of the things really lacking the show is just, skill level, as far as they were TV actors. Let's be real.
Yes.
As opposed to the big motion picture actors. But yeah, I mean, we want to see an expanded universe. We've gotten so much from Marvel. We've got Spider-Man, we've got the Avengers and a lot of their offshoot characters. We've got the Guardians of the Galaxy. And if 15 years ago someone had told people that the Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be one of the biggest franchises in Marvel, I think people would have laughed at them.
They would not have believed that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and Titans are interesting, and I've talked about this before, because you have the Teen Titans show from maybe 2002, 2003 that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And about 10 years later was the start of Teen Titans Go.
Mm-hmm.
So like 2010, I don't know, early 2010, something like that. And then you had the live action show in the 2020s. So, or maybe late 2010s, early 2020s. So you have a lot of different generations getting into these characters or into these characters. I was a little bit older when the Teen Titans, the first show came out. But my friends that are even just a few years younger, like Josh, you probably grew up watching that show, right?
All the animated stuff, man, that was my stuff.
Right. And then I know people that are maybe 10 years younger than me, they're in their mid-20s right now that grew up watching Teen Titans Go. So I think there's a lot of generations that have witnessed these characters within the last 20 years and would love, nothing more than an awesome live action adaptation. So I'm excited for it.
Especially again with the big budget, movie budget.
Right.
But also that translates to what they do in television as well. I would think, because Marvel TV, right? It does not look like your typical kind of lower tier television show. They do a really good job with that. So hoping that it's at that level for what they bring to, these types of series. And I would love to see Teen Titans again. I would love to see how the iterations of these characters are in the DCU. That's definitely going to be fun. Very excited for that. All right, we are spending a lot of time on I will say one more quick thing, and that is the success of the Teen Titans is going to hinge majorly on who is cast as Dick Grayson. Whew, that's a tough one, because
right? Like, just it's gonna be that the weight of that franchise.
We've never had a Dick Grayson on screen. You know what I mean? Like
other than the HBO show, yeah. I'm
saying exactly. We've had, I think, 2 Dick Graysons.
Well,
we've had
what was his name?
Batman, and then
Connolly. What's his name?
Yeah,
Christopher
O'Connor. O'Connor? Is it something? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he wasn't Nightwing. I mean, he was Dick Grayson.
He was Bad Robin. Yeah. That's what he was. And then we had Burt Ward.
Marlon Wayans was originally going to be Dick Grayson. Okay, so, and I'm not saying he couldn't pull it off, but
that would have been great. I don't know why what's his face didn't continue with that down that route for the second Batman, the Tim Burton. But that would have been
that was supposed to be Batman 3, but Tim Burton and Michael Keaton dropped out. They didn't come back. So
then they got Schumacher. And
although, real quick, I know we got to move on, but you find it interesting on the Penguin that there's a kid named Victor, and his origin is almost the same as Jason Todd's origin from the comics. You catch on to that?
I did notice that with the.
I didn't think about that. I didn't.
I'm not saying anything, folks. Or maybe the rumor I heard was, name's Victor. He could be Victor Freeze.
This is the Josh's rumor report, so go for it. Throw it out.
All right, let's go. Let's move on. We got some. Okay, so this next piece of article, I'm dying. Like, I need something. I need this to be true out of everything we're going to talk about tonight. I will fly to Matt's house. I will zoom in on his body and pause if I have to. I don't care. I do whatever I gotta do. But look,
because that's exactly what he wants, of course, right?
maybe I don't know. Maybe he saw my amateur videos online. I don't know.
My
So moving on
God.
to Batman Part 2 rumor news. There's rumors flying around about who are going to be the villain or villains of this movie. So Jeff, I don't know what slides are up first. There we go. Number 1, Hush. Now, it's interesting to note that Hush is named in the name Tommy Elliott does appear in the Batman Part 1. Obviously, it'd be a bit different because Tommy Elliott got killed supposedly by Bruce Wayne's father in the Batman. So, could we potentially see a younger Tommy Elliott Jr. come into the role? Something like that to play Hush, and I'm up for it. It may not be the original growing up with Bruce storyline or old friends, but hey, man, I think Hush is due. I don't think we've ever had a live action Hush, and I'm not sure if he was in Gotham or not. But yeah, I would be interested in seeing this play out, man. He's a character, he's a rogue that needs to get a live action debut.
Let's move on to these other two real quick, and then we'll kind of each
talk about them. Okay.
Dissect what we'd like to see and what we think. What's next?
So the next one that is rumored to be announced, Jeff, hit the slide because there we go. Court of Owls are also rumored. Deeper corruption is going to be a thing, Matt has just said recently. So, hey, man, more Court of the Owls. I'm excited to see what Matt can do with that. And then the third rumor going around right now is that this man should also be appearing, and there's a bit of a hint of that maybe in the Penguin. We'll find out. But Two-Face, Harvey Dent, I know we got him in the Dark Knight trilogy with Christian Bale and everything, but I'm open for more Two-Face.
Yeah. And the Two-Face is a really, in my opinion, just a quintessential character. Not just Two-Face himself, but like Harvey Dent. Yeah. There's the whole, almost everything in Batman hinges on this idea of justice versus injustice. So having Harvey Dent, attorney, district attorney, psychopathic criminal, whatever side he's on at the time, having him just in general is, in my opinion, really important to building that sense of the legal system of Gotham. So
it's character development for Bruce too, because they're technically kind of become both, best friends. He's the Dark Knight and Harvey's the White Light, or the White Knight they would call him, because he's in the light. So
yeah. They both have it. Before Harvey becomes Two-Face, they're in a sense, two sides of the same coin. They're they have the same goal. They want to do things to improve Gotham and reduce crime and stuff like that. One obviously taking the legal route, and the other one taking the vigilante route. So I'm okay. This character that has shown up plenty, like we've seen so much Two-Face, but I think that's good. And I think I don't think you can really have too much. Like I don't think they are overdoing it with the character. So I'm all for it. He's also my favorite Batman villain. So
I gotta say, look, I loved what they did in The Dark Knight. I thought, God, who was the guy that played him?
Aaron Crockett.
I don't remember. He was fantastic.
Aaron something, I think.
But here's the deal: the thing that
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart. That's right. The thing I love about Hush and Gotham those are two kind of newish villains in Batman lore, and especially Court of Owls, that they were around in Gotham this whole time, and for Scott Snyder to write that just so seamlessly in his run for the New 52, and make it feel like they have always been there, and it's just like, wait a minute, wow, this is amazing hearing. I would love to see the Court of Owls in a Batman film. I think that would be phenomenal. And Hush, if they could do the same thing, even though that's kind of bigger, having Bruce Wayne having a twin, et cetera, that would be a little bit harder to pull off. But if they do, very rewarding. I want to see kind of these new characters in what they're doing with the DCU, as opposed to having another Harvey Dent, which I think they are going to have a Harvey Dent, but a Two-Face as well. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Oh my god, I'm blurry. There we go.
Yeah,
no. And I know I'm looking down at the chat, and there's been rumors about some other ones. The other one I probably maybe should have put on here is Mr. Freeze. We know it's set in wintertime. But we're gonna obviously look, if we're gonna start they're obviously gonna start production beginning of the year. Expect casting announcements to come. But I just based off of Matt saying that it's gonna go deeper into corruption. He's gotta be hitting at something there, man. And I just feel like the court, what better way to do it? And then you can have, he had multiple villains in the first film. So you can have, I'm sure, we know Penguin's gonna be obviously an entry point going into the second movie, but hey, man, give me the court, give me Harvey Dent. Maybe not as Two-Face right away, make him the DA. Maybe have it where, whatever, at the end of the film, Penguin throws some acid in his face, and third film we go into it, whatever. But you know what? Give me Hush. I mean, his father got killed. They set it up in the first film.
Yeah.
They say Tommy was killed. This, and the word Hush comes up big as day. So we'll see.
We shall see. Again, these are just rumors and things that we also hope for. So that's what makes this all fun.
Please do not go out and buy. Don't go out and buy the first Court of Owls, first Tommy Elliott. It's Hush. Don't spend thousands of dollars based on my opinion. Maybe Joe's opinion, because he's a comic influencer. But
listen, if you feel that you see it for a price that you like, get it. Not a big deal. Okay. But don't overspend thinking it's going to put your kid through college. And finally, our last little rumor from Josh's rumor report is.
Yeah, so this is going back into Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and it's reportedly that he will have a major role in Avengers Doomsday, and it said it's going to be more significant than his role in Infinity War and Endgame. And I truly believe that, because Robert Downey Jr. is going to be set up as Dr. Doom. And I think right now, we talked about it earlier, this version of Peter Parker has been crapped on, and he is at his all-time low probably. And seeing his, his mentor who he thought died, who did die, and then seeing a guy who looks just like him, I feel like it's going to be a point where they're going to reverse the Reed Richards Doom storyline of having them be rivals, and it's going to be more like Spider-Man and Doom, due to the simple fact that there's that history in between those two characters. Not exactly them, but between Robert Downey Jr. and Tom. So we'll see what happens.
I gotta say, they gotta have the Reed Richards Dr. Doom rivalry. But at the same time, they could definitely fit in the Peter Parker aspect into it, which is something entirely on the MCU, right? Can you imagine that first scene where Peter sees Victor Von Doom's face, which looks just like Tony's face? Yeah. That's going to be a pivotal moment, however they do it. No matter how they do it, that it's going to have high impact. And that's why Spider-Man probably will – one of the reasons Spider-Man will be – kind of, one of the the characters that, one of the bigger characters in these two Avenger films. So that's going to be very exciting to see, because they did a really great job of kind of covering how Peter dealt with the loss of Tony and the world as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I'm definitely excited for that. Joe.
Yeah. I'm really on the fence about the whole Doom thing. I'm excited for it because Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, but I'm also like, man, how are they going to pull this off? But I've got my fingers crossed. Hoping Kevin Feige works his Kevin Feige magic that he's worked over and over and over again. And I think, not negating the Doom and Reed dynamic, because that is just so utterly important to the Marvel universe in general, and especially those two characters. But Iron Man is Peter's mentor. Honestly, I think he's just as much of the the Uncle Ben character as Aunt May is also supposed to be. That's those are his two characters. Like honestly, Tony Stark is I feel like they didn't even need to kill Aunt May because Tony's death is his
for
Uncle
sure.
Ben.
For sure.
That being said, they got to do it right. They have so many opportunities here. There are so many different ways to go about doing this. Please don't mess this one up. The MCU really needs it.
There's a lot hinging on this. Yeah, I don't think that. I think they're really going to be precautious. They took a lot of chances the past phase 4, and I think they're going to be very not cautious or not conservative in their approach. Yeah. Obviously, not very conservative because they cast RDJ as Dr. Doom. I have a feeling they have to have a plan with so much invested in this. So I trust in Feige. Okay, there have been some things that have not been as good as you wanted them to, in my opinion. However, they are doing right by these characters we love. Again, I absolutely believe that.
The Russo brothers are coming back, and Christopher McFly, I believe his name is, who wrote Infinity War and Endgame with them. Those movies turned out extremely well. They did them good. So you know what? And I'm sure Kevin's going to have his input. But I have trust in them. I have trust in the writers and the directors, and I do think, I think they're gonna do a good story. And let's be honest. I think it's time Spider-Man, just like in the comics, like he should be a lead runner in the Avengers. He should be maybe part of the new, the new Trinity, where there's 3 big characters that lead the Avengers. I mean, he's definitely a character now that like. Maybe not years ago, but maybe now deserves to be one of the front leaders. He's technically kind of like the Iron Man now that we don't have.
I think we're going a little too far on this. He's always been kind of his own thing. Like he's always been like the majority of the time in comics, Spider-Man has not been a part of a group up until recently. I'm talking the last 20, 25 years maybe. He has been.
But he's been involved with the Avengers.
Spider-Man's got to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're getting into it a little bit too deep right here with these rumors. Right now, we got to end the whole news segment. First, we're ending Josh's rumor report. Sorry,
rumor report.
I don't know who was worse there, Josh or Jeff. But
I was screaming during the Eagles game. But that was outstanding. You brought the heat again, and this took an hour to go over the rumor report. Josh, we're going to keep you on for the rest of the show because we love you and hate you. But that creates good drama and tension within the comic book canon, and that's what we do because we are the most popular YouTube show ever.
It's like I'm Reed Richards and you're Doom, I mean...
Okay, anyways, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. News is over. I'm just saying that right now. News is over. We're going to remind you all that this beautiful piece of art from Kaboom Comics, that's right, and slabbed by EGS, our proud partner fresh from the comic shop, will be given away to somebody on the show live tonight. But you have to watch. Going forward, don't tap out. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be
attention.
Pay attention. That's right. Because here's the rules. You need to pay attention. Kaboom gave us his 3 favorite artists. 3 favorite artists. You need to pay attention. Randomly during the night here, for the rest of the show, we are going to bring up a slide that says, pay attention with an artist. Now, this is just an example right here because this is me and my drawing of Joe. But you'll need to pay attention to the name of the artist and at any point during the night after we mention the 3rd artist, we're going to ask for those 3 names, okay? And the first person we see in the chat that mentions those names will win this beautiful, again, piece of art. Like Kaboom Comics has actually a fresh from the comic shop of his artwork, even though Kaboom has one fresh from the comic shop, but Kaboom gave an A-OK, I think, to Super Doc Crispy Comics, who ended up winning fresh from the comic shop. So, again, talented artist for sure. We're going to do this. So, we're going to say hello to everybody in the chat. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. and start thinking of your questions for Ask Joe and Jeff and Josh. Because we will answer them, or Joe will answer a lot of them. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's say hello to some people. Get those questions in for Ask Joe. We got Spud Comics in the house. We got Caleb Leland with his wonderful rendition of Josh's Rumors Report. Obviously, Kaboom Comics is in the house. We got Paul Bond with a question. Thank you, kind sir. Nukes Comics saying what's good to Justin, a.k.a. Raising Elm Comics. What's up? Mark Leneker is in the house. Who else do we have? Immortal Scruffy is in the house. Broke Boy Comics, a.k.a. Noah, is in the house. The Comic Book Prince is in the house. Are you guys getting sick of me saying in the house? Because I could stop.
Yeah, you can move on to something else.
Okay. Comic Ozzy was here with us. How's that? Was that good? I'm trying, man. Brian Klotz is accusing me of I've been absent more than Josh the last few months. Is that true?
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get out of here, both of you. How dare both of you apologize immediately. By apologize, buy me an expensive gift. Oh, by the way, Jordan Norrie is in the house, and we have something interesting from Jordan Norrie, never before seen. Okay, that's for sure. And I also want to mention Raising Elm has delivered something that has never happened in canon history. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, never happened in canon history. So stay tuned for that fresh from the comic shop. Totally worth it. We got Bond. Paul Bond. Sorry.
Oh my god, I missed it. I was just writing my letter to HR from Josh about Jeff.
You know Jeff is the HR.
I thought you were HR.
Let's get this moving here. Izzyverse, New York City. Missed you at Baltimore, but Joe was there actually.
Just today, though. He was there today.
Who else do we have? We have Dr. Frankenstein, aka
Martha.
Shelby, aka Joe's wife, in the house. I said I would stop saying in the house. Dr. Plagueis, pasta's cooking. Cannon is on. Not invested in CGC. Life's good stuff.
I love a good
Josh's comic in the house. Heroes Reborn in the house. I'm going to keep saying in the house because it's easy. And 360 Comics. You're here. You're here. All right. With that said, Spud Comics. I'm wired with all this exciting news. Josh actually has been doing a great job recently, I have to say. Surprise, surprise. Okay. The only real doctor here, FYI, is Shelby, not you, Dr. Plagueis. I don't think. Anyways, because we're going to move on to the next segment, which, as you know, it's an award-winning segment called Ask Joe and Jeff
and Jeff
and Josh. All right, here we go. We're going to get into it. We have some nice questions. Get your questions in right now. We have a bevy of questions. So Paul asked a nice question here. We got back-to-back questions by Bond. Paul Bond. In the chat here. Is Freeze the villain of Batman 2? And it's interesting he asked that because he probably wasn't paying attention to you last week, Josh. So just give him a 20-second schooling right now.
Maybe, maybe not.
I like it.
Well done. And Paul Bond. Ask Joe, if you were to mukbang on TikTok, what would you mukbang and why? What that?
Yeah,
mukbang is a new, I guess, new-ish type of content. I learned this recently, where you just eat on camera, like you eat like ridiculous, like gluttonous amounts of food, like to the point where it's just very unhealthy. Man, I just love avocado toast so much that I think I would choose that. Avocado toast with a good like almond spread and some sriracha and eggs, over easy eggs on top. And you put a little bit of sriracha on top, cut the eggs open, let the drippy drip down over everything, and just mop it up with the bread.
We got to do one next year when we go back to Terrificon at the pizza place.
I think we should do like a
grab
mukbang.
all the
Like somebody
pizza
loses
and-
the bet, they have to they have to eat one thing the whole show, and they have to eat all of it that's cooked for them. So let's get on that. That would be a lot of fun. That's a good question, Paul Bond. And we appreciate you greatly for that. Everybody, continue with these questions. Spud Comics, ask the homie Jeff. I'm the only Jeff here. I've met everyone else. When will I meet you? That's a good question. Love to meet you, Lexi. I just don't know when it's going to happen. Were you at Baltimore? Because I wasn't going to go. Are you going to go to New York Comic Con? I may go. I don't know. Love to meet you. I am from the great state of Delaware, the first state. Nobody dare make fun of that state. So
First
we'll
State
figure it out.
Comic Con, Jeff.
What's that?
First State Comic Con.
When is that?
It's October
13th?
6th. No, I thought it was the 6th.
Oh, maybe.
I am out of town. October's crazy for me, people, and you'll be seeing me doing shows from hotel rooms. So that's the real deal. But let's make it happen, everybody. This community is amazing. We love meeting everybody in person. It's so much better meeting in person. Obviously, it's just something special to it, and there's something special to this community in general. So
next Backdeck Comic Fest.
When is it?
No idea. Talk to the man in the middle.
Early November, maybe. I'm not sure yet.
I could do early November. I can make that happen. All right, moving on to Brian Klotz. Ask Joe and Jeff, what's the longest line you ever waited in for a signature, and have you ever been kicked out of a line? Tried twice for Simonson's signature at Baltimore, and they said line too long. Ooh, Joe.
Wow.
I'm not super huge on signatures, and fortunately, I the longest I waited, I think, for a comic artist signature was Stan Lee, and I wasn't really even in line that long. Maybe 30 to 45 minutes at most. No, it was not. I mean, this was a decade ago. I'm not a huge signature guy, so I don't like really go after that. But yeah, that's just me. I know Simonson often has a very long line, and not only that, he is doing less and less events now. I mean, he's kind of really just staying in the Northeast area. We're fortunate to live in the area where he usually is, but we see that a lot with creators as they get older. They're coming out to less events.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not a big signature person at all. I've asked for one autograph, and I never will ask for an autograph again. Therefore, I'm not ever going to stand in a line for an autograph. I can tell you the longest line I've ever waited in for something, and that was the first Spider-Man film, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I waited 3 hours to get into the theater. So that's the longest I've ever waited in a line. But yeah, I'm not a big signature person.
Where was that at, Jeff?
It was in Los Angeles.
Oh, did you go to the premiere?
No, I didn't go to the No.
So,
this was before comic book canon, so he wasn't famous yet.
Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire just came out of nowhere and introduced it to us at the Cinerama Dome, which was awesome. So that was
really,
yeah, that was definitely cool. But I'll never wait.
I met the Boondock Saints and not in Philly, up in PA, and they came out for the second film. So Norman Reedus and Sean.
That's cool.
Sean Flannery, yeah.
Like
Holy cow!
Everybody was just like waiting to get in the movie, and these two dudes pull up in a limousine at like a random showing in Pennsylvania, and they hopped out and watched a movie with us. But
9 hours in line for Phantom Menace.
I believe it. Yeah.
Imagine waiting. Imagine waiting for 9 hours, and you're sitting there in the movie theater, and you see, now this is pod racing.
Oh my God! Yeah, like Caleb, let us know your thoughts. What you thought in that moment.
Character in the
but here's the deal. Like again, I'm not knocking it. I just don't. First of all, I don't like lines. Second of all, I just don't.
Yeah.
It's weird for me to ask for an autograph, and so I'm not again knocking it. If you like it, you enjoy it, you like getting it. It's a moment that you're sharing with somebody you look up to, and it's on a collectible. So I applaud that. It's just something I just haven't done. So
you want to know my longest? Or
yeah, please.
So my longest line, 2 years ago, I met Charlie Cox at the Philadelphia Expo. I probably waited total almost 3.5 hours for his autograph, and I waited for an hour and a half Then he had to go down in pictures, and I waited a half hour, 45 minutes to get a picture with him and Vincent Defoe, who was Kingpin. Then I went back up in line and waited another 2.5+ hours in his line, and it was brutal, man. It was a great experience, but I don't think I'll ever do that again. It was very unorganized, and the tickets too were like, you bought a ticket and then you were supposed to stand in line, and then there was multiple lines made up, and
yeah, that's
too much.
That's crappy. That's really crappy.
I couldn't enjoy the con. There wasn't many comic vendors, but I couldn't really enjoy the con because I had to make sure most of my time was spent in the lines because I paid money So.
Yeah. By the way, you shouldn't be waiting in lines anymore for movies because they're assigned seats and you just get them when you get them. So that's not a thing anymore. But it should be more organized, and possibly, hopefully in the future, they'll have some app where you have a number, you get to walk around, and then when your number's like close to being called, you just go wait in a line for a half hour maybe. But
that'd be great.
Anyways, that's for other people to figure out. All right, moving on. Ask Joe and crew. I guess that includes me and you, Josh. I'm not quite sure. Everybody like and subscribe as well if you haven't done so yet. But here we go. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's probably the beer. Ask Joe and Jeff. Ask Joe and crew. Sorry, with how well X-Men '97 has been received, what '90s cartoon series should be given the same treatment? Spider-Man. I beat you all to it because, 90s Spider-Man. 90s Spider-Man, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, 90s Spider-Man was definitely a classic. You had that, like, ridiculous, like, weird, like, dark wavy theme song and stuff. And Mark Hamill is the Hobgoblin. Shout out to one of the greatest voice actors ever. But, man, I know there was some sort of a reboot. I forget exactly what it was, but I didn't watch it. So I'm going to go, because I didn't watch it, I'm going to go with Captain Planet because I loved Captain Planet. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I just thought of a way better one, and that is Inspector Gadget.
Oh, yes.
Do Inspector Gadget. I would.
That would be amazing.
I would be down for, a Netflix series or maybe make it like this, like really dark thing where this guy gets, put back together by the government after his whole backstory is like he was like a cop and he was like hurt in the line of duty and then given all those parts and stuff like that. Just like have it be like really dark, like it's like ruined his psyche and stuff, and he's like falling apart mentally during the whole thing. But also,
you want to make it like a drama.
You're talking about RoboCop, I believe.
Sci-fi drama.
Oh yeah, never mind. That's just RoboCop.
Oh my god. Anyways, pay attention. No. Pay attention, everybody. That's right. The first artist is Sam Keith. Kaboom's favorite artist is Sam Keith. This is the first artist that Kaboom Comics has mentioned. So pay attention. All right. We're going to move on to the next question for Ask Joe. Oh, sorry. Go.
Come on, man. So look,
sorry.
I want a Daredevil 90s animated show.
But there was none.
But didn't he make an appearance in the Spider-Man show?
Yeah.
Even though he didn't already have his own show, he did make some appearances. Okay. I'd be up for it if they decide to go that route.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea. Spin-off.
Sure, a spin-off.
Do a dark take though. Do like a dark, like, X-Men take where like it's a Frank Miller run and maybe Matt's.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I wouldn't want to see it as a 97 cartoon type. You know what I mean? I'd like to see that as like the gritty kind of Frank Miller. When we liked what Frank Miller was doing. Have you seen that Sabretooth cover, by the way, people?
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, anyways, let's just move on to the next question. But a Born Again or whatever, I like your thinking here, Josh. I do like your thinking. Next up, we have Immortal Scruffy. Ask Joe, riddle me this. Who is the hip-hop artist with the most common book references of all time? Jeez, this is
it's supposed to be comic book references. I would have to. I don't know of all time. I think the first name that comes to mind is Eminem, Eminem has a lot, from the song Superman to, references to characters and their powers and even a lot of those characters showing up in his music videos, parodies and stuff of those characters. Eminem is certainly, as far as, really mainstreaming it. But there's a lot of references in hip hop music to all types of media, and comic books are definitely no exception to that. So, also shout out Danny, from Danny and Tessa, aka Drift Lord, his rap persona. He raps about comic book characters quite a bit.
I have to say, I'm shocked that you said this because we've mentioned an artist on here many times. MF Doom, I think, has way more than Eminem, and I like that Nuke's Comics said this as well. MF Doom has based his persona off of Dr. Doom. Even in his songs, he's got the old school, like, he samples old school Fantastic Four cartoons. So Eminem is a big comic book fan, right? And, they had the Punisher cover and the Spider-Man cover and things like that. And I love Eminem, but MF Doom really I feel like it's more MF Doom. Joshua, I'm not sure if hip hop is your thing.
I knew Eminem a little bit, so I would have to go with what Joe said. That's
fair.
it.
There's no wrong answer here, people. No wrong answer at all. Moving on. Ask Joe, Jeff, Josh, if you had to be part of any superhero family, who would you want to be a part of?
I got two.
Go for it.
My first,
he did say Noah did say ask Joe first though.
Okay, yeah.
We'll go reverse order for this one. Jeff, then Jeff. Sorry, Josh, then Jeff, then Joe. God, we'll start with Jay.
My first, my first one. You guys probably know this by now. Bat Family. Put me in there. It would probably be like this. In order of best Batman Robins, it'd be Batman, me, Dick Grayson, probably Damian and everything. Like, dude, I tell you, I'm wearing red right now, all right? So I'm gonna kill it. The other family that I would be part of, I don't know if they're a family, but the Gotham City Sirens. Let's say they needed help cleaning up the apartment or something.
That's you.
Or a training dummy to beat up, and whatever.
That's you.
Know what I mean? Yeah. Those are my two families I would love to join.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting, actually. I mean, the easy answer is like Fantastic Four, but why not the Wonder Twins? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I'll go Wonder Twins. It's interesting. Joseph.
Interesting one. I mean, I kind of the first thing that popped into my head was the Fantastic Four, but I'm gonna go a little darker here. I'm gonna go with the Magneto and his children.
Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver there, which and part of Marvel continuity is that they are his children. You've got the Master of Magnetism. You've got one of the fastest mutants of all time. Probably the fastest.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you have one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel universe, and one of my favorite characters, Wanda Maximoff.
So, can I just ask who you would be?
Who I would be?
You'd be like the brother Joe?
Yeah, I would just be Joe. Yeah, they would be
Joe.
Yeah. My power is obviously eating a lot of avocado toast on TikTok. I also enjoy long walks through the cemetery behind my house, and the occasional Magic the Gathering tournament.
Okay, yeah, you be the brother that is such a disappointment. Like, I think. He'd be upset. Be like, when is your mutant power going to come around?
I would get no eye contact from Magneto. No, he is really.
Yeah, you'd be like, Pops, I can make a killer avocado toast and eat it, and he'd be like, that's nothing to me. Right. But yeah, okay, that's a great question right there. That's actually a fun question. And then Spud Comics, our last question here. How do you all choose guests for the show? It's interesting she asks this.
It's a good question. I keep trying to book people, but
we're
really bad at it. We don't do it.
Complicated algorithm. So blame it on the algorithm if we haven't seen a guest in a while, because it's not doing anything for us. So we don't even know how we book guests. What happens usually is I text Joe on a Thursday, hey, let's book a guest this weekend. And Joe's like, yeah, sure. And then like on Saturday night, hey, I forgot to ask you, did we book a guest? He's like, oh, no. Oh, okay, I can get this guy. And that's what happens.
Yeah. We are bad at this. We need to do better. We do have people in the pipeline. Some of them have been in the pipeline since 2023. Not even a joke about that. That being said, I'll try to be better at this. And
it's
Jeff,
not all on you.
We gotta hold each other accountable. Yeah.
We should blame Josh more. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, I got a list of people I'm looking to run.
Shit rolls downhill, so we blame you a lot. But no, for real though, we used to have a guest every week. That got tedious. Then it was every other week. Then it's like once a month, and now it's just like, I don't know. Things have been kind of organically growing with the canon in terms of what this show is. And as you know, we have now 4 people associated with the canon as regular contributors, and getting another voice in is sometimes kind of complicated, because it extends the time of the show. And we like to wrap around 10 because the 4 of us do have work the next day. However, yeah, we like bringing other people in, other voices, and we like to bring other diverse voices as well, different types of people in. So we're going to try and do better at that. It's just a lot of our planning for the show comes a couple days before the show, if not the day of. So it's kind of hard for the way we work. So, yeah.
Right.
And this is me, guys. This is on me. What happens with the popcorn? Very good question. That's on me. What happens? What's been happening with the popcorn is we always roll the popcorn from the previous show on like a Monday, and then giving a shout out to the next popcorn. Kate's Comics was the last popcorn we did, and I haven't rolled out the past 2 popcorns, and I've been trying to time that out. So we'll get the popcorns going back again. I appreciate you guys all asking for that because it's one of our favorite segments as well. And we will do our best to make that happen. Joe, you say there's one more question here.
There is. I have a message, a text coming in. A friend of mine does not have a YouTube account, or is just maybe really super shy, which is definitely not the truth, because if you know her, she is not shy. Shout out to my friend Lauren, who I haven't seen in years, who I ran into last night, and texted me a question about the show regarding her favorite character growing up in a Batman movie. Why is there so much hate on Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze?
That's not a real text. You just
that is a real text that I have on my phone right now.
Come on.
Yeah, that is the real deal.
That being said, it's not so much hate for it's not just Arnold. It's that movie's garbage.
It is definitely a lot of the movie.
But
I also think that so many people grew up, and I just mentioned this a few weeks ago, that the Freeze episodes of the animated series are my favorite episodes. They go so in depth with that character and what everything, what his family means to him and the tragedies in his life and stuff like that, that I think that putting a like goofy action star with a funny accent like Arnold Schwarzenegger into that role, it didn't hit, for people that had never seen the character before. Oh, cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger's playing this big frozen guy. Like, I totally get that. Like it was kind of cool in the moment, but I think if you have a background on the character, like if you were into reading comics and watching the animated series when that movie came out in 97 or something like that.
No, 92. The animated series started in 92.
No. When the movie came out, my friend.
Oh, Sub-Zero came out in 97.
No, not when the Batman and Robin came out.
97.
The movie, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The animated series had, gone through its cycle, and like people, at least me, that's what I had watched, and that's what I knew Freeze from. So I think that didn't hit. That interpretation of the character didn't hit, especially after we got like a very dramatic and fleshed out interpretation of the character.
The thing is, Mr. Freeze is not like, hitting off one-shot quotes and freezing hell, Batman, and tonight, Iceman comics or whatever he says, like, and then in the film too, like his emotions, like you said, like the movie was built for toys. They even said they did more set pieces so they could sell toys.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, man. And then like, Arnold's like Arnold. I love him in some movies, but yeah, it sucks knowing that we had Mr. Freeze and Adam West's show, but the only real live action Freeze in a movie has been Arnold, and
Here's the deal.
Thing.
Mr. Freeze is deeper than what the character was written for in that movie, and it's unfortunate that most people didn't get to see that. However, let's just hope that we'll get to see that Mr. Freeze, because Josh, you've been alluding to a few things happening that you've been hearing about, so we can only hope that that's going to be the case, because then we're in for a treat if Matt Reeves has a Mr. Freeze coming along.
If not, I'll do it myself.
There you go. I like that. I have
grabbing the gauntlet like Phonos did in the end of Avengers 1 or 2. I'll take care of it myself.
Yeah,
the hell
get
with
those.
DC and
Get the
James
shawarma. Get the shawarma. I gotta say, real quick, I'm gonna pose a question to Spud Comics. Y'all have no whimsy, and that's fine. I don't know what the whimsy is. What's the whimsy? Can somebody explain that to me?
Whimsy, like childlike wonderment.
I think we do. I'm a child.
I feel old right now.
I feel like I'm a 34-year-old child still. But anyway, it's already 9:30. We gotta move on.
Yeah, we gotta get moving here. So that right there ends a great segment called Ask Joe and Jeff. Such a good
Jeff
song. And Josh. It's such a great song. All right, so here we are again at the end of the show. We got 30 minutes left. I guarantee you we're going to fit this into 30 minutes here. Pay attention, because again, we have 2 more artists coming up, and we are going to be giving away this wonderful Kaboom Comics AOK. We've already said the first artist. We're not going to mention that again. We're not going to mention it. Yeah, if you're fortunate enough to hear it, great. We're going to have some more AOKs coming up in the next 2 episodes, I do believe. But for right now, we have our final segment of the show, Home Stretch. Here we come, everybody. It's a segment that's loved around the world because everybody gets these new things and they love showing them off, and I just cannot remember what it's called. Joe, can you help?
Yeah. I think the way I want to do this is by telling a story.
Yes, please.
Once upon a time, there was a YouTube segment on a YouTube channel, specifically a comic book YouTube channel, and specifically the most viewed comic book YouTube channel on the youtube.com. 21 million, 22 million viewers right now. That segment was known as Fresh from the Comic Shop.
Fly from the pressing salon. That's right. We ask you, the fine audience of Comic Book Canon, to send in your fresh gets each and every week. I know this is off brand. Please don't sue me. To send in your fresh gets and you never disappoint. That's right. Just by submitting one of your fresh gets, it's not just reward enough that you're sharing it with this amazing community. No, you are actually submitting to potentially move on to win an amazing EGS Slab and Spider Dude comic. That's right. We have a contest going called Fresh from the Comic Shop that is in conjunction with our proud partners EGS and Spider Dude Comics, and you win a monthly prize. The winner of each monthly prize is actually automatically submitted for the yearly prize, which we do during March Madness of the following year. So we'll have a 2024 grand prize coming up. We should probably mention what that book is in the next month or two. But it's super exciting. And we look for 3 types of criteria during these books for you all to move on to the semifinals. And the audience, the community, they vote on that themselves. So with that said, I don't know, how do we want to break it down now? I feel like I'm over what we used to do, guys.
You're over it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to speed through it then, because
Go for it.
listen, I've been up since 6 this morning for Baltimore Comic Con, so I'm very tired. So
That
we're
was
gonna
your
really-
choice.
What's that?
That was your choice, Joe.
Oh yeah.
I slept in.
Anyway, we want 3 criteria from you. Number 1, please give us a well-composed shot. Take a good picture, get some cool lighting. You guys are ad-libbing this perfectly. Thank you. Get a good picture, get a good angle, lighting, maybe some little decor, little decorations, some other pieces that go along with your comic very well, and make it look like something that we want to see, something aesthetically pleasing. Number 2, we want something unique. Now, Josh, does unique have to be $30,000?
No, it doesn't. It
No.
really doesn't have to be 30.
Not at all. No, unique doesn't need to be $30,000. It could be 30 cents for all we care. What we want to see is something maybe we've never seen before, a book that's lesser known. This is okay. These are unique items. That's tangy barbecue sauce, and those are unique items. Carmex, yes, great for your lips. And we got ranch dressing to go with your barbecue sauce and a little pop thing. All right. Yeah, so unique. We want to see something. Maybe it's an indie book. Maybe it has original art or a signature. Maybe it's something from the golden age that has been lost to time. Either way, show us something that we may never have seen before. That'll get you some points with us. Number three, the third criteria is we want to see something that we want to hear something rather, or tell us a story. We want to hear the story behind this book, what it means to you. Tug at the proverbial heartstrings, and let us know
on my own. Why does it have to be this way? On my own. That's like tugging at the heartstrings.
That was. Anyway, hit those three criteria, and you definitely. I see the heart. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Good work.
Yeah,
Josh on the screen showing us the heart. Hit those three criteria, and you have a better chance of being picked as the winner for the week, which goes on to the voting segment and may win the book of the month. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, indeed. Joe, seriously, that was well done. I don't like complimenting you at all.
Thank you.
Goodness gracious. Speaking of the book of the month, this September book is gorgeous. Look at that EGS. That EGS slab and that Spider Dude Comics book right there. And the book of the month is this Scotty Young variant, Venom number 25. We have C to the G moving on to the finals. And we have our own, it's crazy to say, Journo's Comics. He's just waiting for that semifinalist that we're going to decide on tonight for that book to move on to battle on the semifinals and then finally move on to the finals. Also, don't forget about your CNGO Fresh from the Comic Shop t-shirts. They are down below at the link below. You can also get this wonderful comic book canon shirt as well.
Fantastic shirts, amazing quality. Also, 100% of proceedings from the money goes to helping comic book third world countries.
That's facts right there, for sure. Well done, Josh. Very well done. Moving on, we're going to go over the months that have won here. We got Mike Haggs winning January. We got Dr. Plagueis winning February. We got Mons Comics winning March. We got Nukes Comics winning April. We have Pay Attention!
Pay attention!
Poland, pay attention! That's right. Ooh, okay. We got May Kaboom Comics right there. Who again? We're gonna be. That's interesting, actually. That's just random that I had that right beforehand. Anyways, Kaboom Comics is May. Super Crispy Comics is June with that Kaboom Comics drawing right there. July is Jordan. August is Raising Elm. Who will September be? We shall see. All right. First up, we got Real Caleb Leland, aka Cable Leland. Good morning, comic fam. It has been a whirlwind of a few weeks. Last Monday, we got hit with the double bad news, of the losses of James Earl Jones and John Cassidy. But that same night, I found out that I won a giveaway from SOV Collector for these beautiful Joker books. Flash forward to this Monday when they arrived in the mail, putting me on cloud 9. Unfortunately, last night, my dad called to inform me that an old and very dear friend had passed away. Andy was only a few years old. older than me, and he didn't have the best family life. So we sort of adopted him into ours. He was really like a big brother to my sister and I. He took me to see Return of the Jedi in the theater. I went along, and he went along with us on the trips. He even gave me a book about the history of Batman for Christmas one year. I still have it, but it's worn out and falling apart because I've read it so much over the years. It's never easy to lose a friend, but when we're pretty much family, it's even harder. I love all my comic book family and hope you're all doing well. Peace. Enjoy this submission for Fresh from the Comic Shop. First off, we want to say condolences to you, Caleb. We love having you part of this community. You contribute so much with your wit, humor, and obviously Fresh from the Comic Shop, and also your theme songs. But you and your family are going through a real loss, and we appreciate you sharing that with us for sure. So there's no easy kind of segue to this, but why don't we just get into your first fresh get, Joshua? How do you feel?
Okay. I thought we said we weren't going to do it, but
no, we said you do one.
All right. Let's see. What do I want to check? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. I am a ladies' man. For some reason, the ladies don't love me as much back, and that's okay though. But I got Zatanna issue number 13, a phenomenal
That's a sweet cover.
Adam Hughes cover.
That is a great cover.
So anybody who knows me, I collect ladies, and Adam Hughes is probably my favorite artist that draws the ladies. And I'm happy to own this. And now I'm kind of in a predicament where I want to collect the full run, which I think is like 16 issues. The problem is some of these higher up issues, from issue like 10 up to 16, or 16 being the real most valuable issue, are pretty pricey. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that's at least you have that cover. That's a gorgeous looking cover, and congratulations on that. And guys, we're going to move on to our next submission here, and it's kind of special because, like as a parent, you want to see your kid get into new things, right? And I have no relation to Nori, nor have I parented him ever. But I feel like us on the canon are responsible for this, and this is a very special day. Nori, congratulations on moving into another world, so to speak, for you specifically, because this blew me away. This is Nori Jordan's submission, by the way, guys. This week, I will do something I have never done before. I'm going to show an independent book. Long before I ever knew what a Thunderbolt was, I collected and loved Valiant Comics. Valiant produced some amazing titles, and one of my favorite was Harbinger. Sadly, I had to sell my number one to pay some bills, but luckily I was able to get it back in my collection at a local convention. It was some tough negotiating, but I walked away from a vendor with a beautiful new mint copy and and two Thunderbolts number one. Having this comic brings back a big piece of my childhood. Take care, everyone. Look, he submitted something that had no relation to Thunderbolts. Yes, he didn't mention Thunderbolts. But at the same time, we applaud you for growing a little bit, Nori. We applaud you. Josh, let it pour out, buddy.
Oh, man. Never thought I would see this day.
Here we are. We're here. It's an accomplishment for everybody.
I can finally say that I may actually be a little bit proud.
We all are. We all are. Joe, what do you got, buddy?
First fresh get of the week?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this.
I was at Baltimore Comic-Con today, so all three of my things I'm showing off. I did get other things this week, but I just want to show off stuff that I picked up today at Baltimore Comic-Con. Where did it go?
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
I literally just had.
Anyways. So moving on, we got Mark Leneker. Yeah, Josh, you want to show something off?
Hey, don't kick me off the show. I'm going to kick you off the show and you off the show. And I'm here alone now. Boom. I'm going to show my first fresh get, and I have these two muted so they can't talk. I've got three things that I picked up at Baltimore Comic-Con today. This one I had to pick up just because I got such a good deal on it. This was one of those things that, like, it's not something that I collect. It's not something that I'm probably going to keep in my personal collection, but I just got such a good deal. I couldn't say no. It is Adventure Comics number 56. This book is from 1940. 84 years old and in really nice condition. In fact, you may recognize this as being in a CGC inner well, which is what happens if you take the hard plastic off the outside of a CGC slab. This book was actually graded already at a 7.0, and I don't know if the slab cracked and they were going to resubmit it, or if they were going to try to upgrade it to a higher grade, which maybe it could get. But this thing is so nice for a book from 1940. And the guy had a price on it. I asked, and he told me the price. He ended up dropping the price multiple times until I just was like, all right, fine, I'll take it. And this will probably be something that I'm going to sell. Probably not something I'm going to keep, but very cool book. It's got Our Man on the cover, and it does have a Sandman backup story in it as well. This was, pre-Adventure Comics. A lot of people think, oh, Superboy. Superboy was definitely in Adventure Comics, but he didn't come along until later in the Golden Age, later in the 1940s, end of the 1940s. So these early issues, have the really early ones don't have any superhero characters, and then they kind of switch it up. So this one is Our Man with Sandman backup story. But yeah, just great condition on that. Anyway, I'm done speaking. I will bring my cohorts back on. Not in this setup. We got the new setup going here. We're gonna switch me and Jeff because
Joe, that was awesome. Actually,
it's a cool book, right?
It's beautiful. What grade? I mean, if you had to take a guess, what do you think?
It was already.
Stop. What up, Chris? That's all I want to say.
Chris in the house. What's up, man? It was graded at a 7.0. To me, I feel like 7.0, 7.5. I think that was like, I'm not sure why someone cracked it. I don't think it's going to get like some massive upgrade or something.
It's still amazing.
For that age
great.
of a book, though, man, that looks phenomenal.
It really does look great.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep it going.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on. Well done there. By the way, I do have to preface this. We talked, I can't remember, it's probably Nukes or somebody that was asking during the Astro segment, what grails are we looking for this year? I have to say, I have obtained my grail. It's not like the grail of grails, really, but it's something that holds something very special to me that I'll share at the end of the segment here.
At the end, okay. I was about to pull it up.
I don't know what that means, because remember, it's my grail. But we may surprise you, do a little tricky maneuver on you. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I've drank a little bit too much. And also, again, Raising Elm has done something that has never happened in canon history. So stay tuned, Chris. You better be on here when this happens, when we say it. Where are we? We did Nori Jordan. We got Mark Lineker. Mark Lineker! Look at this submission right here. SpongeBob Comics 1 and 2 from 2011. Though the show was for kids younger than me, I like to think I know a good deal when I see it. Besides, when else am I going to get an opportunity to use AI to show a pineapple under the sea? That's so well done right there. That is the best. That is the best submission I've seen from Mark Lineker in terms of like aesthetically. I like what he's done here. So well done right there for sure. I guess let's go. Josh, do you have anything you want to show? Another book?
Yeah, I do one more.
I just want to say that SpongeBob book is like freakishly expensive. Like you wouldn't think it is. It's typically minimally $100 book and goes all the way up to $700.
I like loving the presentation right there, and that's what we talk about in our criteria. So got to say that. Joshua, what do you got?
So I gotta give a shout out to our co-host Joe. I actually picked this book up from him, and going back to more ladies, this is the Incredible Hulk issue number 441 from May of 1996, and it is the She-Hulk Pulp Fiction.
Oh
cover.
yeah.
What do you think of that?
That's a nice.
I absolutely love this. But there's actually one more thing I want to say to the community and that's pay attention.
Oh wow, I didn't know this was coming.
Oh, come on.
Jeez Louise.
Man, Jeff, come on. Pay
I
attention.
didn't know Josh was gonna do. Pay attention, everybody. Gene Colan artist, pay attention. We've shown you 3. Pay attention. So pay attention because you know what can happen. All right.
I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore about Jeff. Why do all the good shows happen when he's out of here and it's just me and Joe?
Stop it, Josh. Stop it. That is not only 2, by the way. We've shown all 3.
No, we
Right?
haven't. Did we?
Oh no, we haven't. We haven't. You're right. Good call. All right. Thank you, Nukes. We've only shown 2. God. Oh my God. Next up, why don't we just get into it? Speaking of Nukes, right here we got. Boom. Look at this. And I hope Journos is still on, by the way. Fresh from the comic shop, Warlock and the Infinity Watch #1. Adam has possession of the Infinity Stones. His intentions are unknown. Will he surrender this ultimate power or wage war? Amazing 90s goodness. I picked this up for 75 cents at Titan Comics. Annual Labor Day sidewalk sale. Props or flops? Good stuff indeed. I love it. You know Journos would pick this up for 75 cents all day. Oh, we already had Gene Colan, right? Pay attention! Gerald Trump! Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Okay. We've given all 3 artists, so just be on.
But don't put them in yet, and you can't put it in until we say it.
Oh, so. No.
Oh, my God. Too late.
Stop.
It'll be later. Can't say it yet. You got to wait.
You know why?
It's okay. We're going to go into my second fresh from the comic
No,
shop.
here's what's going to happen, everybody. Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a wild card. One of the 3 of us is going to say one of our favorite artists.
Ooh, okay.
And after we do that, then you have to get the artists in.
Okay. All
But
right.
do they have to put the wild card artists? So they have to put 4 names or just the 3?
All 4.
Ooh, that's gonna.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that's gonna be.
I like this.
I like that. Yeah, but
Okay.
And we're not going to say who it is.
No, it's
Hold
going to
on
be
a
one
second.
of us. And when one
Private
of us
chat
says
night.
that, when one of us says that 4th name, y'all better be ready to get it in. That sounds wrong. Josh's Comics. Right
that's
here.
an interesting name.
Yeah, this is good. Where is it? Oh, here we go. First full appearance. Batman 6, first full appearance of Court of Owls. It's been a while since I posted a fresh from the comic shop, but it sounds weird that I'm reading this and you're on the show. But in honor of it being Batman Day 2024 yesterday, I figured it would be a good time to get back in. Here we have one of the biggest modern keys with phenomenal art by Greg Capullo. That is an understatement right there. And a fantastic story by Scott Snyder. We get the first full appearance of the Court while they make a few small cameos in the issue leading up here. We got their first full appearance. I would love to see Matt Reeves introduce them into his Batman universe while they would fit perfectly. That is pretty amazing. All right, we have one more submission left.
So let me go and do one of mine first.
Yeah, go for it.
I still have 2 of mine to show off.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Those of you who have been in my claim sales over the last, 6 months or so, you probably saw a Fantastic Four #2 that I had that was it was restored. And it was really hard to sell because it was a high grade restored, so it was pretty expensive. It was a Fantastic Four 2 at a 7.0 that was trimmed. I had it for what I thought was a good price. I had to drop the price because no one was buying it. I dropped the price again. I could not find a buyer for this book. So I decided to bring it to Baltimore Comic-Con with me and try to trade it. I walked around to, no joke, every single dealer, got offers from some of the dealers. Some have said, hey, I don't deal with Purple Label stuff, not trying to get a restored book. So they passed, but a handful of them gave me offers, and I ended up taking what I thought was the best offer, and I got this book right here. This was a 1-for-1 trade, no cash exchange hands. I traded my 7.0 Fantastic Four 2 that was trimmed at the top edge, so restored, for Amazing Spider-Man #40, Silver Age ASM, Stan Lee, with John Romita artwork.
Dude, that cover is
9.2. And if you look at the price tag on this book, they had it for $2,200.
Wow.
I think I got a good deal. I was only trying to sell that thing for $2,500. I actually had it for $3,000 for a little bit, dropped it to $2,500, and then eventually dropped it down to $2,200. And I still was not getting any people, trying to buy it from me. So I basically straight up traded this for what I was trying to get for it in cash, and I was very happy with that because this book is an upgrade to the personal collection. I bought a 7.5 a couple months ago.
Damn.
Now I can sell this one, sell that one, and keep this 9.2 in my collection.
Well done,
Nice.
Joseph. Well done.
I love that about the hobby. I love, like, at first I was always about buying, but then you look into trading, and man, you do some good things with that. So
Okay.
nice.
Yes, for sure. But I'm just very excited to be showing off this next submission because again, it's a first. This has never happened in comic book canon history. And I'll just read what Justin, aka Raising Elm, has said because it is quite impressive. So here we go. Raising Elm. Howdy, comic fan. I recently started a pull list at my local comic shop. My first pull list ever, in fact. One of the issues in my very first pull list pickup was issue 4 of Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. And I am speechless. Not only does this story continue to deliver, but, and I didn't catch this until late Saturday night upon reading the issue, but my letter sent to the creators a few weeks ago was actually in this issue. My name is in a comic book. Comic book canon is now in a comic book. Speechless. Thank you to the creative team for including my note in this issue. Everyone, give this series a chance. As always, much love, comic fam. So here we go. I know it's hard to see, but you're gonna have to go pick up issue number 4 if you want to see it closer. But I'll read it to you. Wow, my dear friends with the Comic Book Canon channel on YouTube can attest to this. I don't typically venture beyond Marvel and Star Wars comics. The intriguing cover art from that first issue is what caught my attention. I must admit, your team of creative minds have truly come up with something unique and stunning. I am falling in love with this series, and I've only read the first 2 issues. I want more. Hell, I want to see this picked up as a TV series. Thank you so much for putting something fresh on the shelves at the local comic shop, Justin Marshall. So that was his letter that made it in that had his name and our name on there, which is absolutely incredible. Like, it's so cool. And then the reply is, cool, thanks, Justin. Thanks for the kind words. A big TV series would be cool. But what we love about what we're cooking up is that our team is very small, very nimble, and very dedicated. We have no budget about what we can hit you with on the page. We're in love with this series, and we're trying to be new and different and daring and fun. And the best thing is that nobody can tell us what we're trying to do is too expensive or to try to cram into your brain. There's nothing like creator-owned comics, and the best place to make them is at Image Comics. We really appreciate your support. Thanks for trying something outside your usual strike zone. And if you really want to keep us around, please add us to your pull list. Sam Heath. How cool is that, everybody? That's really special. Very cool indeed. So right there, that ends our submissions. But Joe, you have to show off 2 more books. One of them being mine. I guess we'll start with mine, right? And then you'll do yours. First. Yeah.
So, Jeff, why don't you tell us about this book?
Okay, so I mentioned this when Nukes. I had to have been Nukes Comics that asked us this question: what grails are we looking to obtain this year? Obviously, it was like January, February when he asked. And going back to my early collecting days, I was huge into G.I. Joe. My brother was huge into G.I. Joe. We're talking the cartoon, the action figures, all of the toys. And the first big book I spent money on, which was huge for me, which was $20, was G.I. Joe #1. And I don't know, probably in college I sold it off or something like that. I don't know what happened to it, but I asked my good friend, a vendor by the name of 360 Comics, do you have a G.I. Joe #1? And this is what happened.
Well, I told them that I had bought a collection a while ago that had 9 near mint plus copies in it, and I had been one by one sending them to CGC every couple months. But I had a few left that were still raw, had not gotten all of them graded, and I definitely had one with Jeff's name on it right here, which I'm just going to show how clean this book is. This is minty fresh. It does have the one thing holding this thing back from a 9.8 is a small little bindery tear in the bottom corner. You can't even see it on screen. There's not.
I'm so psyched.
But yeah, this thing is a beauty. It's also a newsstand copy, which this was in a year early 80s that didn't really matter for newsstands, but some people still like them because they are harder to get in high grade. But this one is going to the homie Jeff. I'm going to hand it to you right now. Ready? Grab it. No other way. Okay, ready? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No,
it's actually going to EGS.
There you
go. It's going to EGS, actually. So I'm very excited. So I give you a kiss. I'm very excited for that. Thank you so much, Joseph. Best vendor around. I don't know why I'm calling you a vendor, but anyways. You all know what Joe brings to the table when it comes to this kind of stuff. So very appreciative of that. Now, Joe, you have a book you want to show off before we get to announcing who our semifinalist is going up against Journos.
Well, not exactly.
That's
I
not
do have
you.
something to show you. I do have something that I purchased today. I got a skateboard. I got this skateboard at Baltimore Comic-Con. And for those of you who don't know or haven't caught on, my name, 360 Comics, the name that I use for all my comic stuff, has to do with, the fact that a 360 is a pretty standard, skateboarding and extreme sport trick, a full rotation. And, skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, rollerblading have been a major part of my life. And I still try to get out when I can. So I knew I needed to buy this because on the other side of this is my favorite cover art of all time. Chamber of Chills, number 19 on the back of this skateboard. Beautiful cover that's been used, homaged, used for album covers. And not only did I grab this, but you might have caught on to the fact that I also am wearing.
Yes.
And I just want to say that the cover artist who did this is one of my, pay attention, favorite cover artists named Lee Elias. One of my favorite cover artists, pay attention, of all times. Definitely probably my second favorite of the Golden Age and definitely a top 5 favorite artist of mine of all time. Pay attention. Oh!
Wow, that was quick.
That was quick. That was quick there. Mr. Nukes.
Here's the facts right here. We're going to prove it. Right here. I'm going to bring this into the old StreamYard to prove that it was Nukes. Well done. We got to figure out, we got to make this more challenging, actually, for these giveaways. Well done. Again, this is proof right here. If you see that, you see Spuds screaming that is so sick with the t-shirt. And then right there, Nukes got it first. So well done, Nukes. You are going to take home this amazing Kaboom Comics book right here. Oh, the art is incredible. Thank you, Kaboom, for giving this as an A-OK. We truly appreciate you and all you do for the community. Very excited to send that off. Nuke, well, we have your address, but I'm going to ask for it again. So.
Yeah, have you guys ever seen that meme where there was a little kid and it's good for you, congratulations, but the kid's just mean shotting every picture they take of him? That's everybody in the chat, I feel like now.
Yeah,
good job, Nukes. Good win, man.
No, for sure.
I'm really shout out to Kaboom.
Happy for you.
Kaboom Comics too for submitting that, and I'm sure he's I think working on some other things for us. But yeah, man, this community is awesome. Now I'm gonna let you guys in a secret. I probably could have put the names in myself because I kind of already knew ahead of time.
But your contract stipulates Your contract states you are not eligible for any prizes. So let's
Hey, we
just
got to pick
get
a
that out
winner
of the
for
way.
Fresh from the Comic Shop now.
We do. This is really bad. All right. Okay. So the three of us have to decide here.
Well, no. You
Um,
two decide. I'm a judge tonight.
Right. That's right. I'm sorry, guys. I have okay. Raising Elm is not eligible. Josh is not eligible. Nukes is not eligible. Nori Jordan is not eligible. So it goes. I mean, it's the two I was picking. There's two.
Yeah.
There's literally two, and it's for me. It's these two are they would be the top two, I think. If everybody else no, they would definitely be the top two. Although it's hard to beat the mention in a comic book of our channel, but real Caleb Leland, that's big, as well as Mark Leneker. So, Joe, thoughts?
So, I'm gonna say that Mark Leneker definitely wins in the fact of in the category, I should say, the of uniqueness. Really cool, SpongeBob indie book, and one that's not one that's easy to find, especially in high grade. Book that's got some value to it. Caleb, though, has a great story. The fact that he won it in a giveaway, and that's always awesome when you get something from another member of the community. I'm going to say that the tipping point here, for me personally, and Jeff, you can rebut this, is I really like Mark's presentation here with the pineapple under the sea in the background, with the two books in the foreground. That is what puts this over the edge for me. What do you think?
I agree with you, actually.
Okay, there we go.
I think the two of us would like to officially submit Mark Leneker to be the last semifinalist of September. Joshua, what say you?
I agree with you, gentlemen. I think we got a winner. Jeff, wait, am I supposed to put the paper in and give it to you?
I don't know, but I think we figured it out. We don't
hit the gavel. Hit the gavel.
Yeah.
I got ran. I don't have anything else. I got it.
Okay, pen. Mark Leneker, you are moving on, going up. I would not want to go up against Journos. He's so special to this channel. But Mark, you are going up against Journos. So we have the semifinals coming up this week, as well as the finals for this amazing book right here, the September book, Venom number 25, the Scotty Young variant. Gentlemen, it's been an honor and a privilege to be on this show this evening. I specifically got to show off my grail. We had comic book canon mentioned in a comic book. That's absolutely incredible. And a lot of other fun things happened. Again, we are 198. This is episode 198. Next week's 199. The following week is 200. So we are going to be at 200 soon. We appreciate you guys so much for getting us to that milestone. We are excited to share that episode with you all. And yeah, again, thank you so much for joining us and spending your time with us. Time is the most precious commodity we have in this world. And it's truly an honor to spend this time with you all. I will toss to my partners in crime here.
Yeah. I'm exhausted right now, but I'm still here, still loving doing this show every Sunday. Thank you all for being here. Everyone that watches, you guys are what makes this worth it. We need more submissions to Fresh from the Comic Shop.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
We've got like 20 plus viewers, 20 to 30 viewers, live viewers every week, and we only get a handful of submissions right now. So ramp it back up. I want to see some great submissions, and if we need to shorten some of the other segments to have some time for more submissions, so be it.
For sure.
That being said, we'll be back soon. So make sure you submit this week, because like you said, we're on 199 and then 200. So we're coming up to a big milestone here.
I think there's going to be a few AOKs for 200 from all of us. So yeah,
I'm giving stuff away. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to pick something to give away.
Ditto. Joshua.
I'm giving away some barbecue sauce.
Can that go across state lines?
So I just,
Can it go across state lines?
I will have to talk to my federal agent about that. I can't go across state lines. I'm under
Your
house
parole
arrest,
officer,
but,
you
know.
mean? Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So I just want to say, it's amazing to be on this show now, and it's always fun to talk with you guys and go back and forth, and it's a good time. I agree with Joe, though. We need to get some more submissions. I haven't done one in a couple months, but I finally got back into it. And I just want to say, even though the people who do regularly submit, you guys kill it. Raising Elm always brings a brand new first to the show all the time, but it's a great episode. And like these guys said, 198, 191, or 199, and then 200. I'm going to be giving away things. We're all going to have to talk, and it's going to be a great time. And, like, subscribe, follow, let everybody else know on Instagram or here on YouTube or whatever. And, just let them know that we're here to deliver great content to you guys. And thanks for making my life have purpose.
Bless.
Wow. That's well said. Wow. Okay. And with that, we are going to end the episode 198. We will see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Until then, be good to yourself, be good to others. Peace.
Давай, может пойти с моей малой.